Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time. I'm Alan, your host, where we bring you fresh new horse racing information every single day. And tonight we're going to be talking about Pegasus World Cup Day at Gulfstream Park, the championship races, gigantic races, big fields. What we're going to be doing here is presenting analysis and selections for all the biggest races of the day, races 8 through 13, the ones everyone is interested in. And a lot of you players out there, these are the races that make up the Rainbow Six, which can be played for 20 cents. So we're going to be giving you our top selections for each of those races and why, and also these are good not only for the Rainbow Six or pick threes or pick fours, they're also good for exactas, things like that. And I'm joined tonight by a guest. Many of you have seen him join me before on the show, Robert Funaro. I got familiar with Robert maybe a dozen or so years ago, give or take, talking in racing forums online. And I saw his expertise with horses, his selections, and why, what he knew about horses. And he's been on the show a number of times and delivered some real big winners. He's been involved with horse racing for years. He's been involved with the purchasing of horses, partial ownership of a horse. It actually he came in, won some races, and attends the big events. So he's here joining me tonight. And if you're not familiar with The Sopranos, Robert played Eugene Pontecorvo from seasons 3 through 6 on The Sopranos, and he also now is doing the book tour, Homemade by Robert Funaro, 8 Sopranos stories, 8 homemade recipes, just hot off the press, just about a little under a year ago, a little under a year ago. So you can check out Amazon.com. It's a fantastic book, inside stories of his time on The Sopranos for all those seasons. Robert, thank you for joining us. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay, besides a little cold at AH.
Okay, feel better. That's going around now. I had a bit of a sore throat the other day. I was like, yeah.
Thank you for that wonderful intro, Alan. It's very nice of you. And I'm humbled to be on your horse racing show. You're one of the go people that I go to.
Likewise, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is a very challenging card today. I wish I had more standout horses for the horse players, but we do have a few that we think could hit the board, so to say.
Yeah, you can't hit them all. And this is a very challenging card. You have some great horses in here. I mean, come on. In the sequence we're going to be covering are races 8 through 13. 8 and 9 are both G3 races. 10 and 11 are G2s. And of course, the big races, the Turf Invitational and then the Pegasus World Cup Invitational, they're both G1s. So there are really no clunkers in these fields. But, you know, a lot of talented horses, you can't pick them all, right? You got to land on somebody. We're going to do the best we can.
Where the money is, the best horses come. That's what it's all about, I suppose. In this horse racing game, it's very expensive to train these horses and the expenses to buy them and everything. And so this is a very Stronach has developed this Pegasus Cup. It's supposed to be the richest race in the world. Is that so, Alan? Or is the Dubai Cup the richest race in the world?
I don't know which one is the richest. Or is it the Saudi Cup? One of the Breeders' Cup is 7 million. Yeah, they're all big purses here.
The Pegasus. What is the? Let's see. The Pegasus is the last race. Let me put my glasses on.
The purse on the Pegasus Cup.
3 million. I think the Dubai Cup is more money than this.
Yeah.
But 3 million is not bad.
So the first, we're going to go in order, 8 through 13. You know, we'll ratchet it up a notch as we get towards the big races. And we've been through this. We've discussed these races together, looked at it. Of course, you know, we landed on some similar horses, but not all of them the same. You know, that would be unrealistic here. And we're going to go with who we like best. We're going to let you know who they are. And we're going to begin with race number 8. So we'll go race by race, and I'll tell you a little bit about that race. And what Robert, one of his expertise is turf racing, breeding, lineage, really follows the turf racing extremely closely, even overseas. He's a Euro expert. So he'll be leading off with his selections in the turf races, and I'll be leading off in the dirt races. And the first race happens to be on dirt. That is the Fred W. Hooper Stakes. And that is a grade 3, $175,000 race, 1 mile race. And I think this comes through. There's a couple that I really landed on here, and I was hard pressed to choose between both of them, but I'll give you the one I like best, and that is number 6. Knightsbridge opens at 6-5 out of Nyquist, the great Bill Mott trainer, and Junior Alvarado, the jockey that's his go-to guy. Knightsbridge, he's two for 3 at this track. He's won a race on this, came in second his other time, and at the distance, 2 races, a win and a second. And the data I'm using primarily is Thorograph, the Thorograph speed figures, and the Brisnet. I'm using them both, and also looking at the workouts and some replays. And so that's what I come with. Knightsbridge, Godolphin owned, and so the connections are all there. Knightsbridge actually has the best numbers by the Thorograph sheets. But the thing that I'm not going to single him. I was tempted to single Knightsbridge, but I decided not to, because at the distance, yeah, he's 1 for 2, but his last 2 best races were at 7 furlongs. And he did put up a huge race, winning, wiring the field. And he's going to get tested by some other speeds here. So it might not be so easy. He has to go 1 mile instead of 7. And so we'll take it from there. My only other choice here that I'm going to go with is Todd Pletcher, not as battle-tested as Knightsbridge, number 1, Life and Times, and another speed horse. But I don't expect this one to be on the lead. But he's 2 for 2 blowout victories. He's not going to wire this field. I'll tell you that right now, because there are some other speeds in here. But his 2 blowout victories, last race won by 6 3/4 at Aqueduct, and his other race was at Aqueduct as well. Wired the field and won by 5 3/4, and comes off a tremendous back-to-back bullet workouts. Jose Lescano up. Nothing wrong. Out of Justify, the breeding. Yeah, both horses have tremendous breeding. So those are my 2. If I had to, I'll use both in the Rainbow 6. I'm not going to try and split hairs. I'm not going to try and be a hero in this race. So I'm not going to land on just one. But, I got to be fair and give you who I like best. I like Knightsbridge first, and Life in 6 and 1 second. Well, who do you like, Robert, in this race?
I went with the same horses, except I added another horse.
Okay.
I do like Knightsbridge to win the race. I like Todd Pletcher's. I can't throw that horse out. He's got tremendous speed. I watched his races. He looks like he can run that distance. And he ran that distance 2 times. So, and he proved that he can do it. And he's pretty quick. So he's out of Justify, Scat Daddy. Gets Todd Pletcher, gets Lescano, decent rider. I do like Knightsbridge to win. And then I have an outside horse, the 7 horse, who ran some really nice numbers at Gulfstream Park already. He's a take charge Indy called Back 'em Up. He's
Horse for the course.
Bobby DeMono's horse. Although he's run for cheaper, I watched his race, and boy, he looked like he can go like a mile on the course. He just looked so strong. So I'm going to say 6-1-7 here. Of course, at the same time, that being said, you do have to make choices when you're playing the Rainbow. Do you call it a Rainbow 6, Alan?
Yeah, Rainbow 6 or Rainbow Pick 6. Or just the Pick 6.
You can't play them all. You have to make choices, and maybe we'll go back and we'll give our choices for the Rainbow 6. But for the time being, I'll go with those 3 with Knightsbridge in first, the 1 horse, and the 7 horse. 6-1-7.
Yeah, back him up. He really has thrown a couple of great races. Nice big Thorograph number in his last race as well. And you're getting a price on that horse. Okay, on to race number 9. Okay, on to race number 9. Let me just tell you a little bit about the race, and then Robert's going to lead it off because this is a turf. He's going to be going first in the turf races. What a thrilling race right away. 1.5 miles on the turf, the William L. McKnight Stakes. Now, this is for 4-year-olds. It's a grade 3, purse $225,000. So go get him, Robert. Who do you like here in this race?
I like the long races. I prefer them. 1.5 mile races, the European classic distance. There are no real Euros running here, but I like to choose horses that have distance in their past performances. I have a tendency not to bet horses that have run shorter and then going longer unless the breeding somewhat stands out. So here, to cut to the chase, I went with my top choice is the 3-horse, Ohana Anna, Sean McGahee, and he has Flavin Pratt, one of the top riders in the country on him. He's run at 1.8 miles, 1.5 miles. He's run at Kentucky Downs at 1.70 miles, and Kentucky Keeneland 1.8 miles. He seems to be in the best shape. I mean, in terms of his training pattern, he's one of 16 on the January 5th, January 11th. He's one of 37, 48, and 2. I like his training pattern, 1 of 40 at Payson. And that Payson training track is deep. He's 48. He's 1 of 40. He seems to stand out to me. Now, that being said, I also would couple him with the 1-horse, Mike Maker, dangerous trainer. He's out of Oscar Performance, Kitten's Joy, who's a tremendous horse, a grass horse. And he's got 2 wins and 1.25 miles, 1.3 miles, so we know he can go to distance. Gaffley was on him, and he changes to another great rider, I Ride Ortiz. I Ride Ortiz and Flavin Pratt. I'm happy to have those 2 jockeys in any race that I'm going to bet. I think that the 3 is a win candidate, given that, his last race, my observance of his, because I'm a trip handicapper, I like to watch the horses and see how they perform as athletes, so to say. And sometimes I throw out the numbers if I see a horse has heart. I like to go the horses that have heart. And I think those 2 have heart. So I'm going to go with the 1-3, Alan.
1-3, yeah. And you mentioned the jockeys. You have Pratt and Irad Ortiz. I'm curious. Later tonight, they're going to be voting on. They release the results of which of them wins the Eclipse Award. I'm curious if Pratt repeats or goes to Irad's. Their statistics are so close, but great jockeys. And yeah, that 1-horse, Michael Maker, he's come off 3 straight wins since it's come into what's the horse's name?
What's that?
Zverev. Okay. He's won 3 straight. Yeah. And he's
Zverev.
Yeah.
And paid $250,000 for this horse. He's a 5-year-old. He's carrying 118 pounds. The 3 horses carrying 122 pounds. He gets a weight advantage. You know what I mean? And of course, he's going from. Go ahead, Alan. This is your time.
And one thing, I've seen Robert do this before, multiple time and time again. Sometimes he comes up with these horses and he likes it. You've talked about some of these horses, and like the last race, you picked one of the long ones, and I say, Bobby, this horse is too slow. I'm looking at the numbers, and it's like pulled a rabbit out of your hat, but you've done it time and time again that it's not a trick. So you got to listen up when Robert, sees something in a horse, even if it doesn't look great on, like is the best in the field on paper. And I agree with you. My top choice is also number 3, Ohana Honor. Just has the numbers. I like the connections. I love Pratt aboard and McGahee. So this horse should be there right around. It's training well. It's in good form right now. Actually, the fastest on paper in this race. But he's my first choice. But here's where we change gears. My second choice. Now, he's probably going to have to speed up just a little bit, but it's the Bobby DeBona, number 6, missed the cut. did run at this track. Allowance optional claim at mile and 16th. Did close well. Came in third, but only 3/4 of a length back, but has some nice speed figures. It's a bit of a stretch, but I like what I see here. And I like that it's going second off the layoff. And DeBona and Edgar Zayas, he's the top jock in this house at Gulfstream Park, with the exception of this time of year when the championship meet and all the heavy hitters like the Flavian Pratts and Irad Ortizes of the world come down to Florida. But during the rest of the year, Zayas is the king of the castle here, and he's up here. And Bobby DeBona and Zayas together, they win at an astounding 30% clip going back 64 races. And this one, I'm looking second off the layoff, starting as a 7-year-old, a speed figure guy, a numbers guy. And I like what I see in this horse. And it was gelded in July. So that's my second choice. And it was tough because I was looking at Robert's number 1 horse, very hard to dismiss. Comes off a very fast race. Its fastest race. It was on at Turfway Park back in beginning of December. But if that number translates to the turf, and this horse has been moving forward as a 4-year-old, every single race has gotten faster by the speed figures. And another step forward, he doesn't even have to step forward by the speed figure. He just has to translate the last race to turf. And he's one to keep an eye on. He's won 3 straight. So I'm actually going to, add besides 3 and 6, I will add a 1 with a question mark and keep an eye on that. And sometimes you can afford to spread a little bit in these Rainbow Six, pick sixes here, because you can play it for 20 cents, but you still want to try and get a leg where maybe you can single or keep it to 2, and then you could, open it up a little bit in the others. So my top choice, 3, 6, and 1 is technically my third choice here in this race. And with that, we will go on to race number 10. Okay, let me just bring this up, 10. Okay, race number 10. Now, in race 10, this is another turf race. So Robert will be leading us off a little bit about this race. Now we're into a G2 territory. First 2 races, G3s, next 2 this and the next G2s, then 2 G1s. So this is the Pegasus World Cup Filly and Mare Turf Invitational, a 500K race, a mile and a 16th, grade 2. What do you think, Robert?
Another tough race. It's not an easy one. There are a lot of contenders here. Someone's stretching out another half a panel. I'm in a quandary in a way, but I went with the. I'm not saying in this order, but I like Whiskey Decision, Chad Brown's horse. He may not be the fastest, but I think he's on the improve. Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt, good combination. I think there's a lot of positives about this horse. He ran a mile and 1/8 at Belmont and Aqueduct in September. He's coming back. We know Chad Brown's going to have the horse ready. He may not be the quickest horse, but I think he's got a good shot. He's a $500,000 into mischief. He's got talent, lightly raced. This year at least. So the workouts look good. It's right there off the best stuff, I think. So then I will go to I think the most dangerous horse is the 11 horse. It's a horse that stretched out but really ran really well at Del Mar, lost by 2 1/4 in our time. I like this horse. I like Safi, and I like the combination of Irad Ortiz on this horse. I think that if this horse gets out on the lead, there's a chance that he could win it all going wire to wire. He's got great speed. He's a dangerous horse. Irad at a mile and 1/8. He did it with Ivan's Didagos the last time. In the last race, he went wire to wire. So this is a dangerous speed horse here, this 11 horse. We know he's going to go out. I can guarantee you that. So I like 7, 11, and I think there's an underlay here, and the 8 horse, Proctor Street. He's won at Churchill Downs. He's won at Keeneland. He may not be the fastest races, but he's shown that he has class and he can close. And if there's a horse that's going to close like a brick train at this mile and the 16th, if it goes really fast, it's going to be Proctor Street. Now, yeah, someone mentioned the 9 horse, Crevel d'Oro. I know Lauren Robeson. She was a former trainer of this horse. Great. She's doing really good. She did great there. I went down to Jose D'Angelo, got the horse, did really great at the Swanee River, won by a head. So I'm a little bit up in the air about that extra half a panel for this horse. And that's my contention. Even though he's running the Breeders' Cup, I overlooked that last time. Breeders' Cup horses always have to be considered. So I'm going to say 7, 11, 7, and 8, maybe 7, 11, and 8. But the 11, I'm kind of leaning towards that 11 horse for some reason. You know what I mean? But I'll those 3, Alan. So it's on you now.
Okay. In this race, the horse I like best. Okay, it's kind of a stretch. Is that 9, Crevel d'Oro. The horse is running as fast as it ever has. It's come back. It won its last race. I know it's running a G2 a couple of times. It ran a Woodbine at a G2 at a mile and an eighth. Finished 5th, but only 2.5 back. That was in July 20th on the turf. So the distance should not be that much of a factor. This is a little shorter, a mile and 16th, but speed, the speed figures, this one has the fastest thoroughgraph numbers out of anybody in this field. So I'm going to definitely use it, not alone. So number 9 is my top choice. Of course, the connections, D'Angelo, he's like a Greek god of racing here as far as trainers go at Gulfstream, 19% over 2,400 races. And he's teaming up with jockey Jorge Ruiz. And these two together produce a 2.89 ROI together. So, yeah, I like the speed figures. I like the way this horse is running since Kentucky Downs. You got to have stamina and be a strong contender, a strong filly, or at least in this case, to be able to handle, put in one at Kentucky Downs where they're running uphill and downhill. They're making right-hand turns into the final turn, and to handle that surface, I think this one's going to have the stamina to do it. And it definitely has the numbers. So number 9 is my top choice. And my second choice, I just want to make sure I double check one thing, number 6. My second choice is number 6, Caitlin, Her Greatness. Kevin Attard, the trainer. He's not that familiar. I guess doesn't only 8% here at Gulfstream, but has some really quick races at Woodbine. And last race, it won a 250K race at a mile at Turfway Park. But I'm seeing some really quick races on synthetic. And if this one turns its last turf race, repeat of the last turf race, or any of the last synthetic races, this one should be right near the winner's circle. It's going to be up there. He has Johnny V up, the Hall of Fame jockey. He's 15% here, and he seemed to be rejuvenated recently over the past year or so, really picked up his riding as he's gotten a little bit older. For a while there, some of his races I thought were kind of questionable, but he's really riding strong right now. So that's my second choice. And I'm with you, Robert. Well, my third choice is number 11. In our time, as consistent a horse as they come, always around the wire. Came in second in a G1, so this is actually a class drop for this one in our time. This is a G2, this 10th race, and finished second, but only 2.5 back. And you get Irado tees up, has the speed, and if Safi Joseph Jr. And Irado tees together, going back the last 378 races, they're 29% together, and Safi is 23% at Gulfstream Park. going back nearly 5,000 races. So he's my third choice. So I'm on 9, 6, 11, and that will take us.
Well, can I just add one thing because I
Of
forgot.
course, by all means.
I forgot Breathaway. Miguel Clement's horse was formerly trained by Christophe Clement. I think Austin Murphy. This is his best. Who's an English rider. He rides for the King and the Queen of England.
Wow.
Austin Murphy is here at this meet. I guess he takes the place of Frankie Dettori as that unknown entity. He rides Miguel Clement's horse, the 4 horse, who's not a bad horse. He actually beat your 6 horse, Calling the Grass, Caitlin, her greatness, at Woodbine in a mile and 16th. A talented horse. I don't think he liked California and Del Mar. He did come in second in the Golden Clover by 1 1/4. He's on the upswing. I don't think he can be discounted. Austin's got to get a good ride. The American jockey's a little bit different than the European jockeys. I wouldn't single him, but I say he's a dangerous horse, so I put him in my picks too.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, dangerous for sure. Now that Del Mar race 2 back was actually a pretty quick race, at least by the third graph numbers. He ran a 4 there, which puts him right in the center of this. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about this jockey, since you cover the overseas races. A lot of people see this jockey, Austin Murphy, and you see, well, only has 15 starts in America, and he's 0 for 5 at Gulfstream. No, he's not an apprentice. Tell us a little bit about this jockey.
Well, as I said, you can see him at Ascot many times at Ascot. He does ride winners. He does get on a lot of good horses. He's not one of the Aidan O'Brien's top jockeys, but he does ride for John Gosden, the Gosden family. I've seen him ride for Gosden's. He's ride from some Charlie Hill, I believe. He's run some French horses too from some great French trainers. So he's definitely a go-to rider. I think he's probably checking out America. Maybe he's one of those jockeys that feels like, he wants to keep riding. In Europe now, it's the jumpers. They're not riding, so he wants to stay in shape. So instead of going to, I'm surprised because he usually goes to Dubai, but he chose America. And it's not a bad choice, I'd say. We have some great racing here. And as I said, he rides for the King and Queen. And you can see him in Ascot, in all the Ascot days. He's a very talented jockey, and he could get the right ride here. He could get the right ride. Given not to draw out that last race with the other 16th of a mile, this is not a bad horse. He's out of Bated Breath. He's out of Darling Grace. Naif. He's got Dirt. The sire Bated Breath. If we look at the Bated Breath, the family tree, top 20 progenies of Bated Breath. We have Space Traveler, Chad Brown's Via Dara, Breathaway is one. Let me see anyone. Yes, some anyone's. They seem to be foreign horses. Beckford, Giftless, Sacred Bridge. He's got some. It looks like definitely a turf influence horse. So he's something to think about.
All right. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with Murphy here. Bless you. Okay. On to race number 11. Okay, so 11, 12, and 13, getting bigger. Okay, now this is 7 furlong. They call this the Inside Information Stakes. It's a G2, 7 furlongs, 225K. And this is, I'll tell you what, you can't use them all. I was working with 6 horses in this race, and I narrowed it down to 3. And I'll begin with the one that I like best. I think this one has an opportunity, at least by the opening fraction that it runs, cutting back. Okay, the last race got stuck in a duel. I don't think he's going to be dueling in this race. That's number 11, Grand Job. If you look at his numbers before the last race, here at Gulfstream Park, for example, at a mile, he ran a 99 and he wired the field and he was putting up quick fractions and closed well even at a mile. Now he's only going 7. Last time he ran 7 furlongs, he wired the field and won by 6 at Aqueduct. So this is right in his wheelhouse. Used to run in Ireland and trained by the legendary, the lovable Bill Mott multiple times. He was the youngest trainer to win Trainer of the Year back in the day, and he won it the year again with Cody's Wish. And they're going to be finding out if Bill Mott wins it again. Tonight is going to be the Eclipse Award. Will Bill Mott win it again with Sovereignty? Anyway, Bill Mott trains Grand Job, and he goes to his go-to guy, Junior Alvarado. So Bill Mott, Alvarado. This one looks he has a big early speed edge. Has to get it done at 7. We know he got it done at a mile already. The last time he won it a mile at Churchill Downs. Here at Gulfstream, he's 2 races, a first and a second. He's 1 for 1 at this distance. Okay, and comes off 1, 2, 3, 4 bullet workouts in a row. One of them, listen, he's first of 8, 1 minute, first of 53, 47 and 4, first of 31, 47 and 4, ran 5 furlong workout, first of 6, 59 and 1. Anyway, Grand Job, number 11 is my top choice. And going down to my next choice, I am going to go to number 8, just by the thoroughgraph, the speed figures. I mean, this one's putting up some negative numbers in there. At the distance, he's 4 for 11. He's 1 for 1 at the track. Has the $1 million name, Sterling Silver. Castellano up. Anthony Margota Jr., 17% here at Gulfstream Park. Just a very solid 1 for 1. Loves the distance. Has the numbers. There's going to be some speed in here. So maybe if some of the speed breaks down, Sterling Silver will be there, and you're getting a price 8-1 on Sterling Silver. The price on the 11 Grand Job is 6-1. So we're not eating chalk here. And my third choice is number 10, Brendan Walsh and Tyler Gaffalione, One Magic Filly. And this one, 0 for 1 at Gulfstream. At the distance, though, did put up a 100. Brisnet has some really solid numbers here. Did finish second in a G3 at Churchill at a mile. And he's an early pressing type. And Brandon Walsh, he's 22% going route to sprint. He does have some early speed, but he doesn't necessarily take the lead. He's comfortable running there. One Magic Filly. The last race was a bit of an off race. They said he pressed 3 wide. He got stuck wide. He actually went off as the favorite. Was beaten by my other choice, Sterling Silver, who's my second choice. Was beaten by Sterling Silver, but was the favorite that day. So he is respected. Tyler Gaffalione stays aboard this one. So it'll be the third time he's riding One Magic Filly. So that is my third choice, number 10, Brandon Walsh, Tyler Gaffalione, One Magic Filly. Who do you like, Robert?
I'm not an expert on the dirt. I went with the Indy Bay Saffy horse. I liked his race prior to this one. He gets Iron Ortiz on board, top jock. His numbers look pretty good. I guess my top choice would be the one I fell on your horse, the 11 horse. I mean, he's always dangerous. Bill Mott's always a dangerous trainer.
Yeah.
It's Junior Alvarado on him, and he's going to go out. And I think Bill's going to have him really ready for this race. So I'm going to favor him at 7 furlongs to win this race. But I like the 1 horse, and I also like the 3 horse. Jody's, it's an unknown entity. Jody's Pride. He's an unknown entity. But I wouldn't throw him out. I like your horse, the 8 horse, a little bit too, but you can't play them all, as we always say. Sterling Silver, but I watched Sterling Silver's race. I thought it was a bit slow. I thought it was a bit dragging, but I could be wrong. The hair on either the DRF formula, and they say he's the one to beat, so I could be totally wrong. So I'm going 1, 3, 11, and if my top choice would be the 11 with the 1 and the 3 horse.
Yeah, it broke my heart to leave the 3 out. I do have a question mark actually next to the 3. He would be my 4th one if I decide to spread there, but you can't pick them all. What I didn't like about Jody's Pride is that one, puts up the big numbers, but just doesn't seem to like to win very often. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I would almost be more inclined to go with your 1 with Irad over the 3. So yeah. So yeah, I'm on 11, 8, 10, and you like 11, 1, and then 3. Is that
Yes.
correct? Yes. Okay. So that's pretty cut and dried. Race 11. Now we got a couple of the big races coming up. Okay. On to race number 12 in this Rainbow Six and these on Pegasus World Cup Championship Day. So big races here. Now we're going into the deep end of the pool. It's a G1 mile and an eighth on turf. Now this is the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational Stakes. Now this is a $1 million race, so we don't have any pretenders in this race. And Robert, you'll lead us off. It's a turf race. Who do you like and why?
Well, I went with Cugino, the 10 horse. I like in these races. I like horses that go through. They can get some sort of position, and he has positional speed. He lost to Wolfie's Dynagos, the big race that we had tried to beat at Wolfie's Dynagos.
That was tough.
But he really ran well. He's always in the money. His last 2, he won a 1 mile and 3/8 and a mile at Monmouth. He gets Sean McGahee, Johnny V, top jock. He's a top jock. Although he lose Pratt, I don't mind Johnny V. I like his positioning. I like his speed up top. He's going to ride with 123, which is in between the 126 he rode with last time in the Fort Lauderdale. So he drops 3 pounds. So I do like this horse a lot. He's a twirling candy out of Adorable Miss, out of Kitten's Jaw. He's got the turf. Definitely has turf breeding. It's a maybe, but I think has a good shot. I also like you can't go wrong with the class, and we have to go to Chad Brown. We know Program Trading is definitely a good horse. He's the classiest horse in the field. I'm really up in the air about the 2 and the 10, and I'm leaning more towards the 2 than I lean towards the 10 because Chad Brown's a dangerous trainer, and he gets Plavin Pratt on board. He's going to have this horse ready in the big races. Chad Brown always comes through. He's the favorite. He's going to be 5-2. I have played Chad Brown this past meet. I've lost and with some good horses, but I got a feeling he's going to have this one ready. He ran in the Breeders' Cup. That's something people got to take into account. I know he lost. He came in 10th, but he was 10th by 5 1/4. He was up there with the horses also. He was.
I think everybody was surprised by that. Something happened there. It said he was actually jostled at the start of that race.
Steadied 1/8 pole.
Okay,
he wasn't bad. If you look at Creval d'Oro, well, that's one thing I discounted the last time that he ran, and he runs 3 pounds less also. I discounted that he ran in the Breeders' Cup, Creval d'Oro, and I kicked myself in the rear end because of it. And I'm thinking of the same issues here. That Program Trading was good enough to run the Breeders' Cup. He's good enough to win this race. So I'll say a 2 on top with Cugino, and also my third pick is really a wise guy horse. I know it's crazy, folks. I think I'm nuts out of my head, but Call Sign 7. He's Michael McCarthy. He won the Del Mar Seabiscuit. He beat Astronema, who's in this race. He came on the rail, really strong. He carries 123 like the other horses, but he's lightly raced. He could move up. As they say something in the formula, if you didn't go to the wedding, you maybe not going to go to the funeral. But I didn't go to the wedding. I think I'm gonna go to the wake with him. I'm gonna put him in my picks as a wise guy horse, and we'll see what happens. You never know with these horses. Like my friend Bill Monette, who's the owner of some of the horses that I've been privy to be associated with. He says the horses can't read, and it's the truth. The horses, they can't read the racing form. So he's my wise guy horse to 6. So
yeah. And this is one of those rabbits that Robert, we're looking at it, and he's actually in a position. He's only a 4-year-old now. He's not even fully. Horses aren't fully developed until they're really 5. He's still a colt, and now he's officially a horse, a 5-year-old, and that's around when they're supposed to be reaching their peak. Very lightly raced, and keep an eye out for that Call Sign 7. Okay, so you're 2-10-6. In this one, I went with another one with very strong numbers. By the numbers, this race should be over already. Fort Washington, but somehow he's my top choice, number 12, Fort Washington. Shug McGahee gets Junior Alvarado up. Now, a little bit about this Fort Washington here. At Gulfstream, he's run 6 times. He has a win, a second, and 2/3. At the distance, he's 2 for 7 in 2 wins out of 7 tries and a second. Sometimes he'll drive you nuts. He, tends to go wide or have trouble working out a trip. You look at his PPs. He does have the wide, a bunch of wide. Wide seems to be, popping up all over the place. Sometimes he overcomes it. Sometimes he doesn't. But by the sheet numbers, it's the fastest horse in the race, and you're getting 10-1, and you're teaming up Shug McGahee and Junior Alvarado. So, and he's a closer, and yeah, he's outside. Maybe the outside post helps a horse like Fort Washington, because, because now he doesn't have to come and find a trip and swing wide as if he was in the 1 hole or the 2 hole inside. Now we could kind of angle in. There is no excuse for this one to be running wide when he starts off wide. He can only go in, right? Anyway, I'm looking for him to get a decent trip. He has excellent class. Brisnet, he has the second highest power rating, prime power rating. That's my top choice. He's coming off 2 excellent works. Last one, second of 59, 49-1, and a bullet. That was on January 17th and January 11th. He was first of 37 for 48-2. Before that, third of 16, etc. So seems to be going in the right direction. I love the numbers. So that's my game. The speed is my game. And Cugino, I'm there with you, Robert. I have him as my second choice. Number 10, excellent numbers, always around, runs some good races. At Gulfstream Park, he's never finished worse than second at Gulfstream Park. 4 tries, a win in 3 seconds. He's never finished worse than second at the distance. 3 tries, a win, 2 seconds. You get Shug McGahee and you get Johnny V up. And Cugino, he's my second choice. And both of them, my top 2 choices are Shug. He's at 7-2. So that's second choice is number 10. And we'll go right down. I'm sticking with the class here, and Chad Brown. I can excuse the bad trip. The horse had trouble at the Breeders' Cup. He got blocked. He got steadied, so I'll throw that out. And if you look at the Brisnet, some of these horses have a pattern. Brisnet, you'll probably see it no matter what data you're using, daily racing form, etc., to read the races. Every second race, he seems to run a big race. Now, let's go. He's due for a big race. I'll give you some of his last race, 89. The race before that, 100. Race before that, 92. Before that, 102. Before that, 92. Before that, 101. Before that, 95. Before that, 101. He's due to be over 100 again. But he very well can win this race with Chad Brown and Flavien Prat, who's going to win the Eclipse Award tonight. Flavien Prat or Arad Ortiz. I don't know, but top jock, can't knock him. 20% here at the meet here, Gulfstream. Chad Brown, 22% here at Gulfstream. In graded stakes, Chad Brown, 22% winners. Shipping, he's 24%. Flavien Prat, jockey with a team less than 60 days. He wins 46%. I mean, they got the numbers power all over the place. The class runs G1s all the time. I'll use those 3 and hope to, one of them come in. But Chad, it would not surprise me at all if he wins this race. And you got the Irish breeding here of the horse. Who is that? Lope de Vega, 200K, 356K horse. Yeah, Great Britain breeding. Again, breeding up the gazoo. So, yeah, I like 12, 10, 2 in this race. And this was a tough race. There were a bunch of other horses that I thought really had a shot, like number 8, Cabo Spirit, a lot of early speed, excellent thoroughgraph numbers. Major Dude. Major Dude, I see, is a horse that's been a major disappointment. Yeah, he won the last race, but he has some nice numbers in there. I'm not going to play around with him. I know it gets Irod, but I definitely prefer others better. So, Robert, you're on Chad on top 2, Cugino, and your number 6, call sign 7. And I'm on 12 for Washington, Cugino, and program trading. Okay, so with that, we will be moving on
To the big race.
to race 13. We're there already. Where does the time go? Okay.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate the Breeders' Cup for program trading. It's a big race. Although he didn't win, it's a sign that Crevel d'Oro did run and came back and won here. So keep that in mind, bettors, that he'll be ready. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprised me,
You're not going to get a prize.
Now, given his class and given the connections and given that he's due for a big race, do you think, are people pushing their luck by singling program trading? I mean, he has the class edge. I mean,
I don't think they would be pushing their luck. I just think that, you could sink $200 into a pick 6 and just be thrown out, or
Right.
you could take a stab and try, like in a tournament, you try to be right, and you can single a few horses and not spend a lot of money. You could do a 50-cent pick 6 and be a little bit sparing on singling horses that you think are your favorite horses in the field. So in that case, yes, you'd single Knightsbridge. I think you would single program trading, and then you would single, I suppose, the horse in the big race, and then spread out on the other races. But let's face it, for us, wager is the best thing is to bet little money and get big odds. So
Exactly.
yeah, you have to have, I think bettors to have an opinion, and everybody wants to have all the horses. And there are people who like my brother, for instance, he has 3 partners. They go in $50 a piece. They'll play a pick 6 for like $300, $400. But don't forget, there are four plays. If you're alone, then you're taking the weight on your own shoulders. So it's best, I think, to partner up with people if you're going to play something like that. If you're not going to play it, I think it helps just to have an opinion that, go with one horse that you really truly think that could win the race, and then you just roll the dice. Now, that being said, maybe it's $52 that pick 6, but it makes sense to do it. If you're right, you'll reap the reward. If not, well, $52. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah. And if you're a skilled player and you do the research, what fun is it playing with chalk? Everybody else is going to have that horse. And if you do the research, you follow racing, you know how to read the form, you look at the breeding, the different angles, you're familiar with it, the track, the trainers, you will find some good long ones. Like you see right here, Robert, myself, very rarely here during this pick 6 sequence are we putting the chalk on top. And we're not doing it to try and beat it. We're going with our horse because we think we can beat it. We're not throwing the dice, throwing it at a dartboard or something. So yeah, sometimes in a certain race, like a pick 3 or pick 4, sometimes they're not playable because in 2 of the legs, everybody's going to be on the horse that looks like the best horse, and it's going to pay nothing. So with that being said, we're going to go on to the big race here. Race number 13, the Breeders' Cup. It is the Pegasus World Cup Invitational Stakes, $3 million race for 4-year-olds and up. It's run at 1 mile and 1/8. And I'll tell you what, I landed on 4 horses in this race, and I'll lead off because it's a dirt race. I landed on 4 horses in this race.
Top pick. Go with that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go 4 deep in the pick 6.
Okay.
But just to tell you how difficult this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just to tell you, I was working with 7 horses in this race, and I finally chiseled it down to 4. 7 that had something I could see in it that had a legitimate shot to win. And I wouldn't be surprised if I got beat even with these 4. That being said, I'm going to lead off with my top choice in the Pegasus World Cup. And I'm going to the defending champion at 4-1, White Abarrio, Safi Joseph Jr., ridden by Irad Ortiz Jr. They teamed up together, these two, on White Abarrio. White Abarrio comes in as the defending champion. Irad rode him to a 6-length victory. At the second call, he was in 4th place. I could see that being the case today in this race because we have a bunch of speed signed on. Excuse me, Safi Joseph Jr., a scientist over at 18% trainer Gulfstream, and Irad totally kicking ass, 28% jock at this place. And White Abarrio also doing some serious damage. In his career, 10 starts at Gulfstream, 8 victories, and 1 second. 8 out of 10 at the distance. He's run this distance 9 times. He's won 3, came in second once. Okay, so this one comes in. He still ran a 100 Brisnet in his last race where he came in 5th place at Saratoga. But guess what? He got bumped. He lost his iron, and he was placed 4th through a disqualification. Everything that could have went wrong. He loses his iron. So don't look at that race. Even with that being said, he ran 100 Brisnet, and he also put up a decent thoroughgraph number. And his other thoroughgraph numbers are faster than anyone else in this race, and he does it a bunch of times. Fastest, some horses don't have any races as fast as multiple races of this. Okay, and he's making his first start at 7. 7, that's relatively young for a horse. Keep in mind that horses live sometimes till they're 30 years old or more. They're breeding in their 20s, some of these still. And 7, this horse is still good to go. So let's see, White Abarrio, they're bringing him back. He's my top choice. Now we're going to go on to my second choice. Okay, so White Abarrio. Okay, he's number 11.
I just say that I reaped the reward on White Abarrio last year.
Yes. You were all over him. I heard you screaming on it. Yes, that was
screaming. Yeah, won't be the first time.
Yeah, but that was a thrilling race. And Robert also did give out. Who's that horse that you gave out? Real quick, you gave out the winning horse in the final race at Breeders' Cup, which paid a $20-something horse, and you gave it out on the show here.
Gazora,
yeah.
Gazora, Henry Gaffard's horse.
Tremendous.
Henry Gaffard. And I also gave you Clananigan in the Japan Cup, remember?
Yes.
The only outside horse to win the Japan Cup in 20 years.
That is amazing. Yeah, you gave it out.
He paid handsomely, I think $8 to $9, which is not a bad price.
Yeah, it's not. You're not eating chalk here. You're talking the Breeders' Cup 20 and the other one.
He won an Ascot. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Alan. Go ahead.
Now here it gets a little tricky with me, and I'm gonna go with the horse. I'm torn between number 10 Micah and number 1 Disco Time, and I'm gonna go Disco Time just with Flavian Pratt and Brad Cox inside as my second choice. I'd love to try and beat him. He does come off a -2 thoroughgraph number, which is really big. Won by 9 3/4. By the Brisnet, he actually ran slower in his last race than he did in the race 2 back, where he ran a 103. But by thoroughgraph, it's just the other way around. He ran much faster in his last race than he did in his race 2 back, where the Brisnet doesn't show that. So but he's still undefeated. Brad Cox, Flavian Pratt, and he's making his first start against older horses. He's my second choice. And my third choice is number 10, Micah. This is another one that has thoroughgraph numbers that are through the roof. Big early speed. Look at the race 2 back at Laurel in November at 1 1/16. Wired the field, won by 14 lengths. The race before that, Delaware, smaller circuit, won by 9 1/4. Manny Franco stays aboard. Just missed in the race, in his last race at 1 mile at Aqueduct, beaten by Bishop's Bay, but just got beaten by a neck in a G2 in the Cigar at odds of 14, almost 15 to 1. He's my third choice. And now here's where we go with a horse that really has beautiful, beautiful speed figures. And he's a 20 to 1 shot. I know he's up against it a bit. Banishing, number 4, 20 to 1 for David Jacobson. Jacobson, 16% since the beginning of 2025. He's 19% with shippers, but Jose Ortiz, what need more you say? I love the speed figures on the sheets. He's 20 to 1, and he's not a horse. He's a horse that'll more or less, he can stalk the pace and get into it. He hasn't raced at Gulfstream, but at the distance, he's run 5 times, at first, a second, and a third. Out of Ghost Zapper, breeder is Godolphin, 20 to 1. I love the thoroughgraph numbers. David Jacobson, the trainer, is part owner. Let's see what happens. Fourth choice, I am spreading here. Banishing. I think those 4 get the exacta done. Who do you like, Robert?
Well, I just want to say something that Alan has a really good handle on these dirt races. And when he gives you folks a horse and he says that the horse that you're saying, Micah, has a chance, you should take heed, because I've seen Alan do it, impossible things with these dirt horses. But, I always like to go with class in races such as this, horses that I've run for money. And I came up with 2 of the Brad Cox horses. My first pick is, and people might think it's crazy, but I like Tappan Street as my number 1 horse. I love the way he ran the last time at the mile. He won the Florida Derby, and I think this horse is ready for a win. I also like the 1 horse as the Disco Time. And, this was a hard race for me to signal 3 horses, but you have to make a decision. I like Disco Time. I like his numbers. He looks like he can go a mile and an eighth. And Tappan Street is a dead stone closer. Although he ran the mile, he ran really quickly. He ran a good number for the mile. I think that Brad's
he beat Sovereignty that day.
Yeah, he has class to beat it if he's ready. This horse is $1 million horse. He is a dangerous horse, and he's at 6 to 1, folks. So that's what I'm saying. And my third horse is a horse that me and Alan have played time and time again, and we've been disappointed. And maybe he'll come up big this day. Is 8, Poster. Might think I'm crazy, but with the other half of panel, and he has Junior Alvarado on board. Junior is a great jock. If he times it just right, and it's a speed duel up there, I think he's better than Skippy Longstock. I think he can beat him this time, and he can win. He's my closer horse, is Poster. And also Tappan Street. So I'm going to say 7, 1, 8, and 8, 7, 1, 8, 1, 7.
Okay. Yeah, Poster. Yeah, we both had him in the future last year. We had him in
every time, but you never know. He could maybe not let us down this time.
That was, yeah. So there you have it, folks. Got all the Rainbow 6. Hopefully we get it done here. Have a good time. Robert, thanks so much for joining us here for this Pegasus World Cup Championship Day show.
And to speak with you, Alan. I wish I had just numbers like I had with the Breeders' Cup with John Da Silva, who we miss very dearly. He's at the Eclipse Awards. He's a big shot. He's a hot shot. Hey, John.
John, hey, John.
And he's a great handicapper.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I really needed his help tonight beside you, because it's really, to me, it's a very tough card. I just can't pinpoint one horse that I really say, wow, that's the one to bet. I mean, I just can't do it. So I have multiple horses, and let's have some fun. Let's bet responsibly, and let's not go crazy. It's just a hobby. It's a pastime. If you want to make money, folks, you got to work.
You got that right.
Okay.
So I want to wish everybody good luck and enjoy the races. Bet with your head not over it. Thanks for watching, and remember, may the horse be with you. We got this.
All right, Alan. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Pleasure always to be with you.